In Mexico last night, an airplane carrying 99 passengers and 4 crew members crashed shortly after takeoff. The plane went down in a field and caught fire. 80 people were hurt, but remarkably, everyone survived. Joining us now, survivor Alberto Herrera. He was on the plane. He's in Durango, Mexico, and joins us now. Alberto, first, I want to ask you, how are you doing?
I'm good, considering I fell from the sky a little while ago. It's still kind of surreal that I survived the plane crash, to be honest with you.
It's just remarkable. I mean, when we heard the news, we were surprised that there were survivors, and to have you here today talking about it. Give us a sense, though. What was it like? When did you first sense that something was really wrong?
Once we actually started our ascent into the air and we started going into the clouds and we started hitting that really rough turbulence and the hail started hitting the plane, that's kind of when I knew something was kind of weird and kind of off. I've had turbulence before, but I've never experienced turbulence like that before. And before we knew it, we basically, instead of going up, we came, leveled off, and then went boom and hit the ground.
So what was the atmosphere like inside the plane?
There was a lot of, not frantic people, but people that were worried, especially because we had just crashed. And then we're seeing flames to either side of the wings. So basically we were trying to get out as quickly as we could from the plane as the plane was being engulfed with black smoke from the jet fuel burning.
So you're just taking off, you're seeing the fire around the wings, the flames lighting up. How did the crew and even the pilots respond?
Well, the pilots, I think because it happened so quick, they couldn't respond to let us know what was happening. They had to act, and I'm kind of glad they did. If they hadn't acted and were explaining stuff to us, we might not be here. At that moment, they did something to make sure that the plane landed off the runway to give us a chance to kind of, I guess, survive it, as opposed to hitting it dead on back onto the cement, you know?
Yeah, just remarkable. And so once the plane hits the ground, what was that scene like when you're trying to get out of the plane?
Trying to get out of the plane, that scene was like everybody making sure that their loved ones were okay, but at the same time, getting them out of the plane as quickly as possible. We could see the flames as we're unbuckling our seatbelt, and the cabin is becoming very, very black as more and more smoke is coming in. So you just follow the lights, and like literally minutes before, we had just heard the safety instructions from the flight attendants. So we were well aware where the doors were, and we tried to act as quickly as possible to get them open and get as many people out as we could, as quickly as we could.
Alberto, was there ever a moment where you were worried that you might not make it out?
Yeah, the second hit, basically once we hit and we slid and we hit something else, then when the engines, you can visibly see the fire and the plane is still skidding forward. That for a split moment, I did think to myself, this might be my final ride. This might be it.
It's just incredible to hear you say that. And you know, every time before a plane takes off, they have the emergency instructions as to what you need to do. And the fact that it seems that people followed those instructions, was it orderly as they were trying to evacuate?
I was sitting in the back of the plane. From what I saw in the back of the plane, it was pretty orderly. Yeah, we were being very quick to try to get out because we could see the flames. But I didn't see anybody trample each other. I didn't see anybody push each other out the way. It was more of a, here, follow me, let's go out and let's do it as quickly as we can.
So remarkable to hear that people weren't panicked, and a good lesson to all of us if you ever find yourself in this situation. Alberto Herrera, I want to thank you so much for finding the time to speak with us.
Awesome. Thank you for having me.